let's go back to the beginning and let's talk about that pre-turnaround phase. So give the folks a little bit of an idea where you were, what you were doing, and let's just kind of talk a little bit about what you were going through in the beginning phase before you just made that decision to switch gears.
Sure. I think that one of the fundamental issues was what was different about the new program is that I wanted to, we work one-on-one, but I wanted to integrate a marketing element. So I teamed up with this top marketer, so there was quite a strong relationship there. And as the marketing wasn't working for me, it was clear there was going to be no basis for them to deliver it to our clients. So it was really, really at a fundamental level that I needed to get to grips with why is there such a bad fit between marketing and coaching. So that was an important part of the journey.
So you said there wasn't a good fit between marketing and coaching in the beginning phases when you were successful. Did you have or did you see a good fit at that point between marketing and coaching? Now this is before you went in this new direction. So when you were successful before the first time, before the turnaround, did you see a good fit between marketing and coaching at that point?
Well, I think I was responding to the issue that some coaches have problems in enrollment. And so to beef up the program, I wanted to bring in that particular marketing expertise as part of the program. The problem is the more that I got into it and the more that I discovered it wasn't working for me, the more I realized that the program was flawed. So the program was based on an idea. That idea was initially tested on me and with disastrous consequences. So like everything went out of the window.
Yeah, that's never it's never good. You know, they always say it's, you know, people don't like to be first to a party and people never like to be guinea pigs. I mean, you know, part of my background is in IT and I know there is something to be said for being an alpha tester or, you know, or a beta tester, but they'll even tell you, you know, if you install a brand new piece of software, don't do it on, you know, on your PC. You know, if it's in beta because it could make everything, you know, go down the tubes real quick. You know, kind of like when Windows 10 just came out, the manufacturer of my laptop said, you know what? You might not want to install it because you're going to blue screen to death. And I went, well, that's a good reason not to install something brand new to make to make, you know, one of the things I use for the control room go away. So it's interesting. What I heard there was you were talking about the program, and it sounds to me and let me ask you a question. In the beginning phase, can you give us a quick background on what you were successful doing there in the beginning phase?
What I was really successful with was a number of areas of development for the coach. My company specializes in working with coaches only, and
Okay.
it takes an integrated approach to personal development, and so that they're all independents, they're all own their businesses. So it takes an integrated approach to personal development, to leadership development, to organizational development, and to continuing professional development. So all those elements are in there.
Oh,
And somewhere within that mix, the bit which probably was most challenging and outside of my core expertise was the lead generation part. So that's why I wanted to bring that in. But the major, major lesson that came out of this for me, I mean, I'm sure that you probably do things through sort of lean startup and you pivot and you
yeah.
really test the market properly. My biggest mistake was to have an idea, to think that idea would work, and without testing it first. And in a sense, part of the process was testing the idea and the discovery that the idea wasn't a good one. And what that highlighted was where all the disconnects were.
Yeah, you know, there's something to be said for fail fast, and there's something to be said for, you know, getting a minimum viable product or a minimum viable service out there to market. Um, and there's something else to be said for doing maybe a little bit more research. You know, it's like you have to get, if you, as a coach, if you want to do a new program, you have to do some test marketing. You just have to. You have to see if it's going to work. You have to see if anybody resonates. But I coach people all the time, and I tell them, I've had a lot of people come to me and say, Chris, can we just go out and create our full program? And it's like, no, don't create your program yet. And they're like, wait a minute, we want to sell it. It's like, okay, do you know if anybody is going to buy it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, then why would you spend the hours, the countless hours creating a full program if you have no clue if it's going to serve any niche, or if it's going to serve anybody's needs, wants, desires, and if they're going to pay you for it. And we can talk about that later, but I want to get back to the beginning for a second, because what I think I heard was something very interesting. You were successful in the coaching business and in the coaching industry. You realized there was a deficiency, a shortcoming. And the funniest thing, Dennis, is I think you said deficiency. If not, that's what I heard. And the reason I picked up on that, and I love that, is because too many times people in our industry are afraid to talk about pitfalls, and are afraid to talk about deficiencies, and are afraid to talk about failures. And I believe if we just change our opinion of those words, it's going to make for a much better, much open, much happier person, because you realize that you aren't deficient, the process was deficient, or there were some deficiencies in the company. You weren't a failure, a process failed. So anyway, it sounded like you said you found a deficiency, and that was in marketing, and you went out and sought the expertise of somebody to bring in. Did I hear that correctly?
You did hear it correctly, but two problems. On my side, the bit which I've talked about, which is having an idea and wanting to just put that into practice without properly testing the idea. And then the other was discovering the degree to which there was a mismatch in the idea in the first place.
Interesting. So let me ask you this. You said a mismatch in the idea. So you're saying that you had an idea, you thought something would work, and where was that mismatch? And what do you mean by mismatch?
The mismatch is between traditional marketing and sales and the way in which coaches market and enroll clients. So the fundamental mismatch was that any front-end marketing and enrollment needs to take place through coaching practice. It's the only thing which is aligned with coaching practice, which traditional sales and marketing isn't. So the key learning that came out of this was how to teach marketing and enrollment that was coaching based, furthermore that was based on abundance coaching. So it shifted from a negative and sort of scarcity model into a creativity and abundance one.
Yeah, and creativity and abundance is such a great place to be. It's a scary place to be sometimes for some people. Yeah, I know it sounds weird. You would think scarcity would be scarier, but that's a topic for a whole nother conversation, because this is really good right now, because we're leading into the turning point. And when it comes to the turning point, it sounds like it wasn't one seminal moment. It sounds like it was just things that happened along the way that led you down to a point where you realized something had to change. If you can remember back, can you remember what the first inkling you had was that maybe this wasn't a good match, and maybe there was something off, or something different, or something, I don't want to say wrong, because it really wasn't wrong, but something off, and there was a mismatch?
To watch the rest of this epic episode now, click on the link below the video. Do it now, you'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Watch the rest of this epic episode now by clicking on the link below the video.